Voila! Welcome. Today I'm going to talk about dreams and languages, and this is a little bit in response to some of the discussions I've had with few of you a while ago in terms of the languages that you can have in your dreams, and the fact that, you know, a lot of Africans in the diaspora and a lot of Africans even in Africa don't speak the native language, don't speak their maternal language, their mother tongue. And so there is this going on, this kind of some Africans use that to shame other Africans, or to shame African Americans, or to shame other people simply because they don't know the native language. And I've seen a lot of people start feeling shame, and start now worrying about not being African enough, not being this enough, not being enough to be in this particular ethnic group, or that, or to represent the ancestors, and so forth and so on. And this video is to tell you that it doesn't matter. Stop feeding into what other people are telling you. Your legacy, your connection to your ancestors can never be broken. Your connection to your ancestors can never be broken. Okay, your ancestors live within yourself. They are part of your blood. Okay, if you go back and you watch my series on ancestors and bloodlines and all that nature, you'll see that it has nothing to do with your language. It has to do with who came before you. Your grandfather may have traveled across Africa to marry somebody from a completely different ethnic group, okay, another woman who spoke a different language from where he was coming from, who has different cultural background, and all of that is within your own DNA, is within your blood, because you came from the union of these two, and nobody can take that away from you. No matter what culture you ended up, no matter if you were abandoned and someone else from a different culture, a different nation adopted you and raised you, that connection is still there, always for you to expand it or not. But no one else aside from that can come and take it away from you. It cannot be taken away from you. And one of the examples is that my mother tongue, I'm not fluently in that. I'm not an expert in it. And yet, when my grandmother, who I carry the name, my great-grandmother, sorry, who I carry the name, my name ancestor, when she speaks to me, I understand what she's saying. I may not speak her language, but I understand clearly and completely what she's saying, you know? And so this is a way for me to show you and to explain to you that there's no place for you to start being shameful of yourself because of that. Yes, sure, you can do better and go and learn those languages and take the time. But if you don't have the time or the resources right now, you don't have to you don't have to shame yourself, feel shameful, and all of the different things that are not going to serve you in the long run. Being shameful and all of that is nothing positive. It's not going to serve you. So it's much easier and better to understand that you have opportunities and different ways to connect to your ancestors, the dream realm being one of them, where they come to you, they speak to you, and every time they speak to you, no matter what language they're going to be using, you're going to be able to understand. And if you're not able to understand everything, sometimes there may be phrases or words, you'll have the resources to look for them, or to understand later. Sometimes it's by bite pieces. You get a little bit here, you understand most of it, and there's something left over for you to uncover later, okay? And so there's many times where you can have ancestors and beings that are from your ethnic group, but that are there from a long time ago, even before the present languages of the country you're coming from, or the tribe you're coming from today. So don't feel bad. Sometimes you can have words or information that's coming from centuries ago, and the language that is being spoken now in that ethnic group is not even the same anymore. You will have to go to the village and find a great-grandfather who will tell you that, oh, he used to hear this when he was a child, and not everyone spoke like that. But because it's so far on the lineage, all of the languages evolve. Even African languages. Some of the modern African languages have been ingrained with English, with all kind of other terms in them. So don't feel bad for not knowing everything, and not feeling like feeling isolated or anything like that. You don't learn an African language just so you can enter and be part of a specific group. You learn it because you need it, because it's calling you to do so, because you are inclined to do so, because it's going to serve you, because you're going to use it. You don't use it, you don't learn it just to be on the internet and flabbing others and shaming others about that. And I think I don't quite understand this new practice that people are using, but I just want to say that your connection with your ancestor cannot be broken just because you don't speak the language. So that's a food for thought, and one way that you can verify that is through your dreams. Go and meet your grandmother, your great-grandmother, especially for those in the diaspora. Ask for the ancestor, call upon them, and hear what they have to say. Hear that and witness and experience for yourself that you can communicate with them without being aware of the language that they used, the language that's being used now, or the language that they used when they were there in the material form. So I hope this video was useful, and that it provided you something to consider whether you want to connect whether it is because you want to connect with your ancestors, or whether it is simply when you are feeling a little bit down because you feel like you're not enough, or that you feel that you don't hold on to all of the facets of the other Africans or the other ethnic groups or the Native Americans or whatever group you're comparing yourself to. I'm here to tell you that yes, you are enough for the simple fact that you are here, and the simple fact that you're coming from a specific lineage. And all of the people in that same lineage honor you because you came from them, and you honor them because you have a connection. They paved the way for you, and just that is enough. You are enough. Okay, sure, there are things you can do better, there are things you can improve. If you do have time, go learn the language, but as I mentioned before, to me it's much more conducive to understand the culture than to just learn the language. Many people go learn languages and don't understand how the culture functions until they go to that culture and actually live within it. So I will tell you, it will be much more potent for you to learn the culture, to understand the culture and the traditions, because once you do that, even if you don't understand the language and you put in a different situation, you'll be able to understand what's going on. And it's going to be a lot more enriching for you than just learning words and the meaning and translation of words, instead of learning the meaning of words and why those words are being used. So this is really food for thought. Don't ever devalue yourself. Remember that you are a human being, a being in a divine form here as a human being, and from that you are enough. You don't have anything to prove to anyone. The only thing you need to do here is to live your own journey, and to be proud of the journey you're living, to have your intention and to do what you have to do. But don't ever let anyone take that away from you or make you feel like you are less deserving to being here, or to have the heritage that is yours. And that heritage is yours. The only person that can prevent you from having that heritage is if you decide you don't want it anymore. And an easy way to verify all of what I'm saying right now is simply to use your dreams and see when you connect to your ancestors and see how they speak to you, no matter what language you're speaking. And you can go as far back as you need to, as you want to, even to do, if you do life, what do you call it, like past life, you can see that in past life you live in all kind of places with all kind of different languages and cultures, and you are able, through the dream realm, which is I think an amazing and fantastic tool. That's why I can't stop raving about it, because it's one of those tools anyone can use. You don't need to be initiated, you don't need to do all kind of spells, all kind of different things, all kind of workings and all that stuff. You just need to go to sleep and ask yourself and be able to remember. That's it. That's it. No tricks, no turning, no magic. You are the magic. You are the energy behind all of that. And all what you need to do is just go to sleep and ask those questions. Search those questions within yourself and let the answers come to you. Let the answer confirm that you are enough, because that's what you're going to find. Those ancestors, your ancestors are going to tell you that you are enough. They did what they had to do so you get here. And I dare anyone to try to take that away from you, whether it is because you don't speak this language or for whatever other reasons they may have. You are entitled to reconnect in the most efficient way that is available to you with your ancestors. And language is not going to be a barrier to that. You know, now I also recommend, if you do have the time and the resources, go and learn the language in addition to that, because it would tremendously and really help you. But do not make that as the reason why or the excuse why you feel like you shouldn't reconnect, or that you feel like if you try to reconnect it's not going to work out. You are enough, and your ancestors know that. So I hope this was useful. If you have any questions, put them down below, comments as well, and if not, then I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.